Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome back, it's Jordan here. Today we're going to be reviewing and placing all of these Lego sets. It is a substantial backlog. It's going to be awesome. We're going to update the shelving here in the studio. Thank you so much, Lego, for providing a bunch of these sets early to reveal and review. We've got Speed Champions, Disney, Technic, F1, Lego Ideas, Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, Super Mario, and many, many more. So let's get started. These Transformers Brickhead 2-packs are incredible. I just can't believe how many print pieces you get in a 25 Canadian dollar set. You know, like you've got Optimus Prime here in truck form. You get the Transformer, you get the side window, you get the front windows, you get the grille elements. All of that is printed, and look at it, it's a cute little Optimus Prime truck. And then you get the transformed version once again with more print elements. Pretty impressive for a $25 set. This triangular, the shield tile on top there is printed, the circular Transformers logo. So that's awesome. I mean, that's what you look for in the Brickheadz, right? Then we've got Bumblebee, Transformers 1x4 printed tile there. This one's got more of like an interesting shape for his head, right? It's Bumblebee. You can see his ears poking out there. And I really like the vehicle version of Bumblebee. Look at this like curved slope right there with the window wipers like on the windshield. The little Transformers piece there too. Yeah, it's like a little Bumblebee. It rolls and everything. I love that. It's such a unique idea for Brickheadz. I'm glad that they went with the 2-pack for the Transformers. I don't think they would be able to give us transforming Brickheadz, but hey, there you go. You got the best of both worlds. You get 2 for each character. Of course, where we're going with these, we don't need stands, so I get all of these excess pieces. The vehicle versions of the Transformers are a little bit deeper than your average Brickhead, so they have to go in the back of our displays because there's actually a little bit of wiggle room there. So for now, I decided to place them amongst the Disney Brickheads. That doesn't make any sense, but my options were Disney, Star Wars at the very top there, Marvel, there's not really any room at the top. I didn't really want to bury them way down here by Sonic. So yeah, for now, they're hanging out with Mickey Mouse. Well, you know what? Mrs. Bricksie didn't like where they were. She said, no, that's the Disney shelf, so they go down here. We're going to bury them. No! Okay, they're down there with all the other miscellaneous Brickheads. You can still see them from afar. It's still all right. It's all right. Okay, I agree. Just like the Brickheads, this Super Mario standard cart from Mario Kart also retails for $25, and I've been saying they should make Mario Karts for quite some time. It comes with the banana, that's a classic. Love using that. Got the wheels there with details that are created using sticker elements. The flames coming out the back there on ratchet connectors, like on the exhaust. Little Mario Kart print piece right there. I'm super excited about the new Mario character that's coming out in mid-May. It's like an upscaled Mario Kart build. So cool. You can see there's a shooter on the side there. You get the green and red shell, and they can actually be put in there, and you can shoot them. So you can get your opponents that way as well, which is pretty fun. This is like a large vinyl piece on top. Pretty interesting. Then, of course, we've got Toad here, my favorite driver in the game. And then there is a little like control station, I guess, here. There is the interactive codes there as well that like your digital characters can interact with within the Mario Kart. And a little print piece there as well, and a little target. So you can use that as a target. You can practice shooting your red and green shell, maybe huck a banana at it. I think it's pretty fun. It's a fun little $25 Mario Kart set, not bad. And of course the Mario Kart is going to look great with the other displayable style Mario stuff, but this display is going to have to change in the near future when we pick up that larger Mario. But we've got Toad and his classic Mario Kart right there. Hey Hey from Moana 2 has 566 pieces and retails for 50 Canadian dollars. Now that's a price that I can sort of appreciate, you know, like that's a good price per piece right there. Hey Hey is just a hilarious character too. I loved him in Moana 2. He was so funny. It was awesome. Also, it comes with a printed piece on the base there, and the base was really well constructed using brackets, also snot bricks, just to give it this like unique shape. And then of course it's topped with the green and all of these really nice flowers in all different types of colors. I love these new-ish flowers right here. You got his feet, which are mounted to the base there, and then just some Technic elements coming up as his skinny little legs, and his wings can articulate, and also his tail feathers are all on hinges as well, so they can articulate. And I just love the look of Hey Hey, right? Like a fantastic character build that reminds me of a Creator 3-in-1 build, which always used just like such interesting techniques and interesting parts to create a unique looking character, just like Hey Hey. There you go. I can't wait to see it on the Disney shelves with our other Disney display sets. We will place Hey Hey there, but first we should have a look at another Disney set. This is the Lilo and Stitch Beach House, a very colorful set. I like the roof. It's got some good color combinations there, and the color of the building as well, with like the white framing and the azure color, along with the windows and the flowers, and a pretty interesting looking door there as well. It's got like the mini door below the handle. I like that door. I should order some of those for my parts inventory. Also a porch going around the entire thing. This one retails for $120, 834 pieces, so it is a little bit more expensive, but you get this spacecraft and a Stitch minifigure inside the spacecraft. Nice, it's a good looking Stitch, that's for sure. We also get Mr. Bubbles. And of course, Lilo and her creepy looking doll, almost looks like a voodoo doll. Nani, she's holding David's guitar currently because David's hands are full with those torches. So a pretty interesting minifigure lineup for this one. You also get 2 surfboards that have some sticker detail. Note the hidden Mickey. And on either side of the porch, you'll notice some pretty terrible looking palm trees. They get the job done, I guess, but not the best looking palm trees. I do like how the building is elevated with that porch, so you can see some like fence detail under there just to represent drainage for the porch. So I like how it's sort of built up. There is an observatory on top there, and all sorts of Easter eggs found within the open back. Can't hate on it for having an open back. I mean, it is a kid's play set, and it's loaded full of Easter eggs like the Lost Duck. I believe that's the story that Lilo reads to Stitch, right? A couple sticker elements on there to detail it. Also a broken couch within this room here. And you'll notice that like transparent headpiece there. It's a jar of pickles with spoons in it. So that's a nice Easter egg. Also the record player. We have the kitchen, and it looks like something smoking on the stove there. Me Alone on the fridge, some more sticker detail there. And also the bedroom above with her hula lamp and some sticker detail on the wall, which represents pictures of the family and Stitch and everyone. There is a chest right here, or a crate rather, and it says Aloha Pineapple on the side with a sticker detail. Some more sticker detail right here, which is another family picture. And then another bedroom. So there's quite a few details within this little mini build. Of course, you could get 2 of these sets, or you could try and complete the back on your own. I think for now, ours is probably just gonna go on the shelf because we are just trying to cram too many things in our city. And if I try to put every single set in the city, well, it's not gonna leave much space for much else. Overall, I think this set is pretty good, but I feel like you're not getting much out of it for 120 CAD. Like that's quite a bit of money for 834 pieces. The minifigures are good, and of course you get that Stitch, but I just feel like maybe it's a bit small. But I like the fact that they hit on a lot of the Easter eggs, and I'm excited for the live action. That's something I've got to go see in theater, that's for sure. We should probably hang Vincent van Gogh with some of our other art. freeing up more space for Disney. We're going to need it because they're not going to stop issuing Disney sets. Wow, look at that. We've got Hey Hey beside the Lion King, Simba. Have you seen the new Spot, like dog build, similar to this one here? Looks great. I can't wait to see those side by side. So there's Hey Hey, and then down here, we shifted some things around to make space for the Lilo and Stitch beach house. Such a colorful series of shelves in this room. I think it looks great. Right on. I feel like there's a lot to unpack with this set here. This is the evolution of STEM, which is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. It retails for $100, 879 pieces. It comes with 3 interesting minifigures. It's like a book that's opened up, and out of the book is all of these different scientific things that come bursting out. Whoa, you've got a bee, you've got a spaceship, you've got the carbon atom, an automobile, an apple tree, the home computer, a chalkboard, a microscope, a robotic arm, some planters, a little city skyline with a plane buzzing around it. It's pretty interesting. It's sort of random. It sort of appeals to a niche market. I don't know who this is for, but I do sort of like it. I mean, just like any build, the build of it was actually pretty fun with all of these interesting mini builds, such as the automobile and the book and all that. But it just sort of feels random. I do like how it is one cohesive model. I feel like that's cool, and there is actually a functionality to it. So as I rotate the part on the back here, the DNA is going to spin around along with the bee, the little space probe, and the spaceship, and the carbon atom is actually going to go up and down. So there is a technical aspect to it. I think we've got the best minifigure right here, right underneath the tree. Whoops. Who is Sir Isaac Newton. Just got hit in the head by an apple. I like that minifig right there. George Washington Carver. He is known for his developments in agriculture. So he is a pioneering agricultural scientist, and you can see one of his planters right there. Our third minifigure is Marie Curie. She's from Poland. I honestly didn't know anything about these two. But apparently she was the first person to ever win 2 Nobel Prizes, and she fundamentally changed our understanding of radioactivity. And that's why she's holding that really cool 1x1 printed tile there. Now this set is packed full of detail and little tiny Easter eggs from STEM. I think it is an interesting idea, but once again, I think that this one here appeals to a niche market. And I do like the 3 minifigures that you get in it, but I'll be honest with you, once again, I didn't even know who these 2 people were. Of course, I know who Sir Isaac Newton is, but I guess I'm a little bit wet behind the ears, and I'm sorry about that. Pretty cool set, though, for $100. What do you think? At this point, we're not really too sure where to put the STEM set, so for now, it's just going right down here beside these random airplanes and also the Cat D11. We have been discussing ways to open up more space in this room, and we're starting to measure, so stay tuned. Something funny about Smeagol and Deagle is the fact that I started watching Return of the King yesterday, and I, of course, watched this opening scene of Smeagol and Deagle when they find the Ring of Power. And yeah, that scene is just so creepy when Smeagol turns into like Smeagol and Gollum. Oh my gosh, it is just so well done though. I love it so much. The only way you can get this set is if you bought the Shire set, which a lot of people didn't like, and is what it is, you all know that. But even the GWP itself, I mean, of course it's good because you get the 2 minifigures, but I feel like the build is pretty weak. I guess it's sort of different. You know, you've got like the water up here and the raft, which I don't know if that's the best raft design there. But you've got Smeagol up top there. He's cast his fishing line. And then, of course, Deagle, he's got the fish, and he finds the Ring of Power on the ground. I just think in general the build doesn't look that good. but it is good for a GWP because, of course, you get 2 minifigures. So, of course, Smeagol has an alternate face, so there's that one there, and then his alternate on the back. And I like Deagle's face here, where he's like holding his breath underwater. That's good, and then just like happy. I still feel like this set here was just like a tactic that they used to justify the increased price of this set, which is just sort of a shame. I don't know why they can't give us small Lord of the Rings sets like this with minifigures that come with like orcs or Gandalf or hobbits or whatever it is. Like, just give us some small sets that come with minifigures. They've given us, you know, Marvel and Star Wars battle package type things, and they need to do the same thing for Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. I don't know why every set has to be ginormous. I'm not even asking for like mid-size stuff. Give us some small stuff. Well, give us all 3, you know, give us large sets, give us mid-size sets, and small sets. And when you give us a large set, don't ramp up the price and offer us a GWP. It just doesn't seem right, you know? We know what you're doing, but I do think that it is pretty cool that they give us this set in conjunction with the Shire set, but I don't know. This should have just been cheaper in general. Lego Speed Champions F1. I only got 2 of the cars. Lego wanted to send me them all. I was like, no, I'm good. I rejected that review after, and I went to the Lego store and I bought the 2 that I wanted to get, Red Bull and Ferrari. I feel like those are the 2 best options. Sorry to be that guy. I'm not like the most avid F1 watcher, so that's why I didn't want to get them all. Plus, I feel like they're absolutely plastered in stickers. Like, they are just covered in stickers. But this Red Bull print piece is really neat. I didn't think there would ever be a day where we get Red Bull print pieces. That's why the sets are marked as 18+. They're giving us some pretty interesting things in the F1 lineup, that's for sure. There's some other print pieces mixed in here as well, and some interesting part usage like the spoons for the rear view mirrors. It's sort of what you would expect for a Speed Champions F1 car. Obviously very detailed. The build of it is awesome. I always like Speed Champions, but I just didn't want to get all the F1 cars because they take up display space, and I'm more so into like the street-ish style vehicles, super cars in the Speed Champions lineup. Not really the F1 cars, but there's the Red Bull one. There is like a slight variation between the builds. Like, you'll notice some really cool part usage there with the doors that are upright, and of course the stickers are unique to the vehicle as well. But yeah, I thought it would get rather repetitious. These things are 35 CAD, 275 pieces in the Ferrari one, and 251 pieces in the Red Bull one. I like the minifigures. They're not specific drivers, which I think is because the licensing behind it, and also F1 car drivers just change around a lot. They just change teams, but we have the Red Bull helmet and also the Red Bull torso. The drivers, they come with wrenches and also alternate hair pieces, so if you don't want them in the helmets, you can give them blonde or black hair in these cases here. No leg print detailing, no dual molded legs or anything. Honestly, a little bit mid for the minifigures. Like, I do appreciate the helmets having the printing, and the torsos, of course, with those iconic logos on them, but the legs are sort of bunk. Either way, I mean, we've got 2 of the F1 cars. I'll definitely be leaving it at that. Not going to get any other teams. Now we've got a bunch of stuff to place on the shelves over here where we have all of our vehicles. So we're going to have to revamp this entire series of shelves in order to fit all the vehicles that we're going to have a look at today. One detail that I do like on the F1 cars, though, is the printing on the tires. They're sort of unique. The Red Bull one just has the black dishes, but the Ferrari one has the print detailing on the dishes. And you can see there's different brands on the tires, which I think is super cool. It is pretty interesting how we get the Speed Champion version and also the large Technic version of these F1 cars. Both retail for 300 Canadian dollars, 1,361 pieces on the Ferrari, and 1,639 pieces in the Red Bull car. So clearly there are some pretty substantial differences between the two builds. Both are pretty incredible. They feature pretty much the same features. We have moving steering or connected steering, which is actually connected to the wheel as well. I can operate it by spinning the gear on top. And when I spin said gear, the steering wheel within will move as well. And we can see that within the Ferrari vehicle as well. I like having the gear on top, just makes it easy to show off that feature. And of course, you can just remove the gear if you don't like the look of it. Just like the mini ones, the vehicles are covered in stickers. I get it. They're not gonna print all of these pieces, especially in like a Technic form. When else are you gonna use a hard rock like print piece? Never, right? They got all the sponsors all over the Red Bull car and the nicely printed large rubber tires as well. The body of it and everything just resembles the F1 car. Like, these things are just craftsmanship at its finest, right? Now, the Technic vehicles, they're so cool because, of course, you can get into the interior and you can see all of the moving features of the vehicles. So, for example, we can remove this panel right here to reveal the V6 engine within. And there's actually a little shifter knob right here so you can cycle through the different gears. And as we move it forward and backward, you're gonna see those pistons move. And then we can put it into neutral and the pistons won't move. And we can put it into the other gear and reactivate the gearing. And you can see that it is connected to the tires. So if I were to lift this up and rotate the tires, the pistons will also move. So definitely pretty cool. And I like the way that the suspension was done. You see how vigorous the suspension is on both the front and back tires. But when you flip it upside down, you're actually going to see some spring elements right here. And that is actually connected to the suspension. And they move laterally, if you will, when I push the wheel down, and then of course you can see the pistons moving within the motor and all the gear work from the underside as well. Very like rugged. Obviously Technic builds, I could probably throw this off the mezzanine space here and it would survive. I can remove this panel on the Ferrari as well. So you can see the difference within the coverings there. Obviously some additional pieces went into the the Red Bulls. That's why it's a larger piece count. And it is a little bit different in here. So we have our shifter, whoops, which just popped right out. Sorry. It definitely looks a little bit different, but those pistons are still going to move. And then we can put it in neutral and put it into the other gear. So I like the fact that the builds were actually different, but they all work on the same sort of principle. And you can see all of the pistons and stuff underneath, and the suspension is a little bit different here, just like the way it's cased and framed in there. But yeah, definitely neat builds if you're a fan of Ferrari, Red Bull, F1, Technic. Well, there you go. You got two new F1 cars, and there was the McLaren and also the Mercedes, which is hanging out way up there prior to these two releases. Pretty expensive though. You're paying for that F1 brand, also paying for Ferrari, Red Bull, and just like Technic sets in general are always a little bit more money. Look at those tires. Those are pretty special. It doesn't even feel like Lego anymore when you build Technic. You know what I mean? If you haven't tried out a large Technic build, yeah, you know, it might cause some frustration for some types of builders. Some people prefer system over Technic, but the end result is super special. And you know, I shouldn't just say the end result, because as you're building it, you're like, what is going on here? Like, I still can't even wrap my head around how all this stuff works. Like, it's just like bizarre. Even though I've built quite a bit of it at this point. It still boggles my mind to this day. We may as well continue the trend with more F1. However, this one here is not Technic, it is System. It retails for $100 and is 800 pieces. And it is the Williams Racing and Nigel Mansell. So you get the Mansell minifigure here. Comes with the quote, which is a sticker piece. Oh my gosh, that should be printed. Brutal, but you got a pretty cool looking minifigure there with some interesting print detailing on the torso, legs. Also comes with a printed helmet, 2 different faces, and the trophy, and he stands on the podium with the quote below. You also get this stand right here for the actual vehicle, which I think is brilliant and displays the vehicle at this perfect angle. But you get the specs plaque right here, which once again is a sticker element. Maybe for a $100 vehicle, it should come printed, especially for something as iconic as this, right? All of the sponsorships all over the vehicle are stickers, which I guess is obviously to be expected. They're not going to print Canon and Goodyear and Williams and all of that. So yeah, we've got sticker elements all over the vehicle there. Connected steering, so the steering wheel works, which I think is awesome. You can reach your hand in the cockpit there and steer the front wheels. There's like no front and rear diff, so your tires are not connected, which is to be expected for a smaller Lego Icons system build. You have the tires, which are rubber, of course, and they're printed Goodyear and Eagle. Overall, I think there's some good building techniques found within, and it's a good continuation of the series. The first one being the Marlboro car without the stickers, no Marlboro detail on that one there, and the driver was Ayrton Senna. So now we have Nigel Mansell, and this here is just going to connect to some of the modified plates on the bottom with the Technic holes, like that, and just present at this beautiful angle so you can just see it perfectly. Like, I love that. I think that's super satisfying. You can get in there, you can mess around with the steering, you can see all the details. Perfect. It is covered in stickers. I just realized that I didn't get these 1x2 stickers perfect. I'll probably be peeling those off and fixing that. I just despise 1x2 stickers on cheese slopes. It drives me nuts. I'll fix them up before we place it though. I think it's worthwhile having a look at these two sets here together because they're both Technic. They both retail for $80. One's a Corvette, one's the Fast and the Furious Supra. A lot of controversy on this one here, saying that it doesn't look that good. It just looks a little bit rough, a little bit rugged. I could definitely agree with that. They have some very similar features as well. They can both be steered from the top there, so they have connected steering to the Technic element on the top, but they are not connected to the steering wheel. There is just an axle that's running through the center and connecting to the steering. They also have pistons. This one has the engine in the back, so when we open it up, we can reveal the motor there, and of course all these gears are connected to the tires, so when this rotates or rolls back and forth, you can see those smaller pistons moving. Can't shift gears or anything, but it is a smaller $80 vehicle, so that's to be expected. And then this one here actually has the motor in the front, so when we pop the hood, you can see the pistons moving as well. And the Technic builds are always fun to look at from the bottom as well because you can sort of see the gearing and everything and how it works and how those pistons actually move. Pretty hollow underside on these ones here. This one's a little bit more solid with more of those Technic lift arms. But I think overall the details of it is sort of Technic-ish. I think this one looks a little bit cleaner than the Supra. This one is covered with sticker details, so you see some conjoining stickers that have like the large gaps, which really isn't that pleasing to the eye. You got the front grille here with the 12 and some other elements back here which are actually printed, so that's nice. The wheel well elements are printed, but then we have some conjoining stickers back here and also some large sticker elements on the door, which didn't really come out that clean. Like, it's a design on the side of the car that, I don't know, I don't think it looks that clean there. Of course, you've got the big exhaust on the back here, along with the spoiler and the Fast and the Furious sticker element, along with the tail lights. What do you think of this one here, you know? Like, I think it's the Fast and the Furious. It's iconic. What's the retail on one of those? It's even got the dogs or the subwoofers in the back there, along with like the nitrous oxide control, I think, as well. And then in the interior, you can see the bucket seats detailed with stickers. And of course, there's going to be some dash detail in there as well. You can see all the different controls. And same with the Corvette. So some seat detail with stickers. And I like the fact that you can just open them right up and see all those details inside. I think the body on this one here looks pretty rough. The conjoining stickers are sort of off-putting, and when you look like down into the vehicle, you can see like big holes and everything. So it's definitely not the most attractive, well-done Technic model. This one's got the Corvette print piece and the other sticker detail for the headlights. It's not quite as holy as the Supra. Here we have the final Technic set of the day. This is the tipping dump truck. I've got it in dumping mode. It's got 462 pieces, 65 CAD for this one here. I like this functionality. You can see the back just sort of flips open. And of course we can raise and lower the dumper just by rotating the gear on either side. So if you rotate it counterclockwise, it will lift. And then if you rotate it clockwise, it will go down. So some pretty cool functionality there. Pretty rugged frame underneath. We've got some sticker elements on the side there to provide some additional detail. You can see the basic gearing underneath to create that functionality, but it's still Technic though, so it still, you know, boggles my mind a little bit, but it is a pretty basic, rugged frame for the vehicle. We do have some working steering here. It is not connected to the steering wheel, but it is connected to the gear on top, so we can rotate or turn the tires. Got the front grille there, which I think is pretty cool. It's pretty well done. I think it looks pretty nifty. Sticker element for the license plate, and then some front headlights there, and the MT, which is Move and Transport logo up top there, along with some lights and the side mirrors. You got some detail on the doors there, which can open up, and you've got some seats within, along with the steering wheel. And the doors can close like that there. I think this one's a lot of fun, especially for like the kids, you know, and it's just a fun Technic set to put together as well. I mean, you know, I could see Technic, or I could see Benjamin ripping around with this thing and having fun with it, but it is a 9+ set. It is going to be a little bit of a technical challenge to put together as well, and it's just a good vehicle to add to your fleet. $65, 462 pieces. There's not really any licensing that had to go into it all, so I think that's a good thing. It's a good little Technic vehicle with some basic functions, but I think it gets the job done. Now, with all these vehicles here, the big question is, how am I going to fit them all on this display? This display is full. Well, I guess here it is before and after. You know, this is a place of work, so it's going to look a little bit cluttered and stuff. There's not much I can do about that. I guess I could try and tidy up those cables a little bit and conceal the boxes and stuff a little bit better. But you know what? I think the vehicle shelves look really good. You know, we've got all the Creator Expert ones on the left there with the addition of the Nigel Mansell right there. And then we have the Speed Champions, which have been tidied up a little bit. I have to get some more minifig stands for all the minifigures because I'm scared they're going to fall over, and sort of reallocate some of those minifigures, because ever since I built this display, it's been a little bit chaotic with the Speed Champion stuff, plus they're just overflowing. That's why I decided to put the Ferrari car and Red Bull car right there. Why not? Had to have a little Octane splash in there, plus vintage, and then we've got the two new vehicles here as well, along with the sort of like dump truck. Some vintage stuff that I like having on display by my desk, why not? Some of the oldest stuff in the collection right there. And then up top, I did something a little bit dangerous. Well, I cleared a bunch of stuff out of the way so we can make space for more vehicles when they come out. But I put those F1 cars like that. Is it dangerous? Not really. I did remove some pieces from the backside, and I just put them in front. So they're sort of balancing on their fenders, or like their spoilers rather, and I think it works. Conserves a lot of space just having them vertical like that. I would ideally like to mount them to the wall. It would be cool to get like the acrylic things with the printing on them and mount them to the wall, fill up some of this wall space here. But for now, I think that looks great. There you go, vehicle shelves updated. All that random stuff on top of the Technic shelves had to be moved. So we moved most of it down here, like the wooden duck, some of the other wooden stuff down there, and the large skeleton, and also like a random Pegasus. But this room is definitely looking very colorful and pretty awesome. We love it. It's so awesome. This room is sweet. We've been discussing maybe making this the Star Wars room so we can migrate all the color into this room, the bigger of the two. Everybody, look at this new battle pack. This thing is legendary. It retails for 25 Canadian dollars, but you get 4 minifigures in there. You get 2 Night Troopers. One has the dark gray helmet, and one has the white, like classic Stormtrooper helmet, but with some additional print detailing on there because they're Night Troopers. I like those ones. I also love these minifigures right here. So all 4 figures come with the same head. You can see I've got the helmet off on that one there. That is a creepy head. These 2 are the Death Troopers. So you get 2 Death Troopers. Look at their torsos. They look pretty awesome. And the legs, yeah, some nice print detailing on those. Also the helmets, which are pretty nice looking mold with the print detailing as well. Yeah, those are great. I like those. The mini build that you get is actually pretty sweet too. Like, it's not too bad. Got some interesting parts in there, like the shield tiles, and it's something that you would expect to get in a battle pack. I'm glad that they didn't beef this setup with like a really big build. It only has 119 pieces in it, but you get 4 minifigures. I'm glad they didn't give us like, you know, a larger set and ramp up the price like they did with the classic 501st Battle Pack to $40. But I guess that one you got the walker and also the speeder bike. But I think the Battle Pack should focus mainly on the minifigures, and in this case, we're getting 4 really good minifigures. So that's a bonus right there. I'm liking this Battle Pack. It's got some interesting figs, that's for sure. The mini dropship is a pretty good build though. Of course, it can accommodate all 4 minifigures. So you've got the 2 on the side there, and look between them. There's little clips there so you can put their blasters away as they're flying around. And then you've got the ball joints on the top there, so those can articulate, and there's the cockpit. And on either side of the cockpit is the shooters that can shoot off those 1x1 circular tiles. We're also getting some other interesting minifigures in this Star Wars wave. This is Darth Maul in the mech. You get that 2x2 printed tile and the large lightsaber. I've never really been like a huge fan of the mechs. I've never really got it. I mean, it is a 6+ set, right? So I get it from that perspective, but I'm not really a huge fan of the mechs, but I'm a huge fan of the figures that you get in them. Like recently we got that Superman mech that came with a Superman minifigure, and it had been a long time since we got a Superman. And in this case, we're getting Darth Maul. Look at this Maul figure. Yeah, no cape and no hood, but he does come with the double-ended lightsaber that you saw on the back of the mech, so you can clip it to the back of the mech when he's in the mech there. But I like the print detailing on the legs and also the torso, and of course he's got that classic Darth Maul head decoration, so that's not bad for 18 CAD. Good way to get a Darth Maul and add him to your collection, and then you have a mech too with the interesting print piece. Another one that's going to retail for $18 is the new Micro Fighter. I like this Micro Fighter because we get Plo Koon in there. Definitely a really good Jedi minifig. There's no like dual molded arms or anything, but he's got that nicely molded head there, and he comes with the chrome lightsaber hilt with the blue blade. So we're getting a Plo Koon minifigure, which I think is fantastic. The Astromech droid, unfortunately, is not a complete R7D4. It is just his head, which of course is like the brown astromech droid. So you're only getting the one minifigure and then the astromech droid's head, which is on there pretty good. But yeah, you're just getting the head. It's not the actual figure. But you couldn't really fit the astromech droid inside the craft. The craft itself is well constructed with the ratchet connectors to get those interesting angles on the wings and all sorts of wedge plates in there. Also the thrusters on the back, and then you've got some of the shooters on either side so we can shoot off those 1x1 round tiles. I think it's a good microfighter. I think microfighters, mechs, and battle packs went through a price increase a number of years ago. So once again, this one's $18 along with that. I'm happy to see them continue the mech lineup because you get good minifigures. Also continuing the microfighter lineup because I've been collecting pretty much every microfighter for a long time and they come with good minifigures and good little mini builds. And then of course, battle packs. You can never go wrong with battle packs because they come with great minifigures. And this one here is truly unique. So I think this is a good little mini wave of Star Wars sets. In the Star Wars room, we have a shelf. It's actually the first shelf that accommodates all of our miniature Star Wars sets. So there you go. We got Darth Maul on the top left with the other LEGO Star Wars mechs. That makes sense. Also, we have the battle pack right there with the awesome minifigures with some of the other smaller starships. And then we have the newest microfighter right down here. We've got quite a few microfighters. There they all are. Perfect. Jurassic World Rebirth. Who's excited for the movie? I certainly am. I sort of cheated here, though, on these sets. You'll probably notice that there's no set built, but there's dinosaurs. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to build these particular sets yet. Some are built, but not all of them. I will say that the Titanosaurus here, I think, is lacking a little bit of print detailing on the feet or on the toes, and I think some of the other dinosaurs are like that as well. Maybe a little bit of a downgrade based on some of the previous dinosaurs that we've seen in some of the previous Jurassic Parks, Jurassic World sets. Although with that said, I don't own a whole lot of them. This one also comes with the little mini raptor. And then there's the other large set here, which comes with the Spinosaurus, which is this one here. I do like this one. Like, look at all that print detailing on the spine of the Spinosaurus, but there's no print detailing on like the claws or on the toes of the dinosaur. But that is a really neat looking dinosaur mold there. That's nice. We also get the, I'm just going to call it pterodactyl because I can't pronounce the name of it. It's right there. I'm sorry. I have a hard time pronouncing all of the dinosaur names. This is another one where I haven't had a chance to build the set though. We've got the large vehicle in there, also the helicopter, some other minifigures, and then like this build here, which actually looks pretty interesting. I like the look of that one there. It sort of gives me an Indiana Jones sort of vibe, doesn't it? And we have the T-Rex set. This one I actually have built. This is the River Escape. In regards to pricing on all these sets, they're going to be pretty expensive just because they have these large pre-molded dinosaurs with the unprinted toes. I think the existing, or the older T-Rex actually had the printed toes, but it is what it is. We also got like a little ATV, which I think is pretty neat. We'll have that ripping around the campground at some point, and we'll also put this in some sort of river scene. This does like explode. It's only held on by jumpers, so you can have the T-Rex rip through there. And there's some pretty cool minifigures. I like this one here that comes with the machete. He's got dual molded legs, so that's nice. And I really like this build here. This is my favorite builds thus far. This is the brick-built Mosasaurus. I like it because it's brick-built. This is all printed in there, and then it has all different points of articulation, so you can give him a unique shape. And of course, the jaw opens, and he's got the printed eyes there too. It did come with these little mini builds here, so you can actually pose the boat sort of in like an action pose, and this boat is actually really nice. You'll find that in my harbor in the future, and you can see they're tracking the Mosasaurus, and there's some other gear on the back side of it there, along with two minifigures who are tracking the Mosasaurus. There's also the Raptor Off-Road Escape here. Raptor coming out of the trees. So that's pretty fun. I like that mini build. I think it pairs up nicely with the vehicle that you get in this set here, Jurassic print piece there, the classic logo, so I like that. And this is just like a Jeep. It's not as good as your classic JP Jeep, I don't think, personally, but it's the new age stuff right there. Excited for the new movie, meet these new characters that I don't really know anything about at this particular point, but you also get a mini dino in that one there. And then we also have this cute dinosaur. I don't have the other ones in this series, so I can't really compare this one to them. I do like how the tail wags, but I think the build itself looks a little bit unfulfilled in these regions where we have the ball joint arms. I like his little toes though. I think those are pretty cute, and of course his feet can move as well. But yeah, I think it looks sort of unfulfilled around the arms here. I don't think that looks the best, and the head can rotate and also go up and down as it's on one of those interesting connection elements. This just seems like really random and like an additional add-on that really didn't need to be in that set. You can see right here on the box art that baby dinosaur is interacting with that plant. It just sort of feels like an afterthought. It doesn't really need to be there, I don't think. So unfortunately, not all of these Jurassic World Rebirth sets are built yet, but that doesn't mean we can't build a new dinosaur display. Ultimately, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with all of these mini builds. If we're just going to have them on display, or if we're going to build some sort of Jurassic World diorama. You know, it takes a lot of space to do that. So I've really got to weigh the options between city, Jurassic, medieval, etc. I don't know what to do at this point. But we do have some pretty cool dinos here that are going to display quite well with some of our other Jurassic themed sets. Dinosaur shelf. Yeah, it's updated. Look at that. Woo! It's full. We have an entire shelf for Jurassic now. Not quite. You'll see on the bottom there's Jaws, but there's all the new sets all together there with some of the older sets as well. Just dinos at this point. Maybe when we finish the builds, we'll move Jaws and put them down there. But there you go. We got an entire shelf dedicated to dinosaurs. So at the beginning of this video, you saw some more sets on the table. Unfortunately, we haven't had a chance to build those ones yet. But I feel like that was a lot. Here's the end result. Like, this is all of the boxes and the stack of instruction manuals. So a lot of building went into this video. It's wild. And we've got more backlog over there as well, but we're going to try and take care of that as quickly as we possibly can while doing other things here in the studio, like managing the Lego City. We hope you enjoyed this video. Please remember to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for some more great stuff, and have yourselves a fantastic day. Bye for now.